Could I get Steve Boyd now to come and introduce our mini speaker?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm Steve Boyd. I'm Deputy Principal at Alderney College in the Papakura area of Auckland. It gives me great pleasure to bring one of our fine young gentlemen down, our head boy, Salvus Lawrenson, to speak to you today. I just thought I'd introduce the nature of his speech. Every year, in preparation for ANZAC Day, the local schools in our area are asked to contribute to the Papakura RSA parade. And the schools take it in turn. That's De La Salle College, which is near the hospital there, Papakura High School, and our school, Alderney College. And we take it in turns to be the flag bearers or to read out the psalms or to give the main speech. And this year it was Alderney College's turn to give the main speech. And so I asked our head boy, Salvus Lawrenson, to prepare one, which he did by himself. And the nature of the speech was, what does ANZAC Day mean to the youth of today? Because we sometimes wonder that. I'm in between him and you in age. I'm not quite 50. I sometimes feel 70. And he's a young man of 18. So I know what it means to me because I was born in 1968 when the Vietnam War was still going, and I had uncles serve there. I had both grandfathers serve in the Second World War. So I know what it means to my family and to me. But what does it mean to the younger generations? Has the meaning of ANZAC Day been lost? And so we put it to Salvus to put the speech together and present it at ANZAC Day. And what came out is what you're going to hear now. And I heard it for the first time on that morning myself, so I didn't know what was going to come out either. And it was really interesting to see a youth perspective and youth perspectives from a variety of different nations outside of New Zealand as well. So without further from me, I'd like to introduce you to Alderney College's head boy for 2016, Salvus Lawrenson.
Gentlemen, whatever you do, stay low, cover, protect yourself, and remember, never stop shooting. It's your life or theirs. Simple, we have clear government orders to follow. This is the battlefield, the real world. There are no second chances involved, boys. I stand guard at the front line, all suited up, right beneath the barracks. I'm ready, I'm a fighter, I'm a soldier for my country, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid every damn day to even make a single sound. I'm too young, I like to come here to have an adventure, not to die. I'm only 17 years old and I still haven't had my first kiss yet. No wife, no kids, and no damn future. 17 years and I'm stuck with a gun and a selfish mindset. I promised Mum I'll be back just in time for Christmas, but I'm afraid. Shots fired, I run towards the actions, my mates around me, fighting courageously, falling one by one. Bullets leave the barrel, bang, 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 bang. I guess it wasn't a promise I just couldn't keep. Always remember, for our tomorrows, you gave your todays. For our tomorrows, they gave their todays. I hope that God will make me equal to the challenge He has given me today. Oh, how privileged I am to stand before the Rowers Club and hope to represent my ungrateful and selfish generation. 48 years after World War I, Martin Luther King Jr. orated one of the most memorable speeches ever recorded in history, I have a dream. I stand here today in answer to that very speech, and to Mr. King Jr. I say, we live that dream. We live a dream where education is free and every child is entitled to it, regardless of race, religion, or background. We live a dream where all cultures are included and diversity becomes the basis of similarity and not a sense of clear difference. We live a dream where government is voted for by all adults, regardless of sex, but you just need to register. I mean, we live the greatest dream where we can play rugby whenever, wherever, and with whoever we want to. My point here is this. How privileged and blessed are we to be able to live in such a land full of unity, freedom, and most certainly a land filled with opportunities. We must understand, however, that it is the history of this wonderful country that plays a vital part to the freedom and safety we experience today. Most certainly an integral part of that history is the story of ANZAC in Gallipoli just over a century ago. It must then be because of our ANZAC soldiers and the many more courageous young men and women who have fought, who continue to fight today, and who are yet to protecting and defending our beloved home, Aotearoa. We gather here today in remembrance of our forefathers who bravely and courageously fought in the horrors of Gallipoli. To us, they are ANZACs, but in their day, they were fathers, sons, parents, children, uncles, cousins, and mates, just like us. I will never be able to comprehend this very fact. The hundreds and thousands of men who went out, who fought, the 2,779 men who died, the 52,000 who suffered injuries, and the thousands who returned home traumatized were men just like me. They were men of the same age and not much older than me. Some lied about their age so they could go. Some were as young as 17 years old. I'm 17 years old, yet in complete fidelity to their country. They pushed aside the natural instincts of a teenage mind to embrace the courage and responsibility of an adult, which at that time was to serve and represent our country in war. They remain just like us, just like me. We also remember the mothers who let go of their sons, not knowing if they were ever to return home again. Einstein once said, "The empowering relationship between a mother and a son lasts a lifetime." Today, we honor all the mothers whose sons did not return back home alive. We honor the moms who waited letters each week, most of which never came. The mothers who only had sons but let them go to war regardless. I mean, imagine the amount of courage, strength, and love that would have taken. We honor the mothers who had more than one son in war, who waited for the news that all of them were dead. I mean, the mothers we honor today, to an extent, suffered the same amount of pain and trauma emotionally as the courageous soldiers who fought physically. Not long ago, a man I looked up to told me a story of his dear mother. When he was born, his mother was scared. She was afraid of the fact that she had just given birth to a baby boy, or in other words, a future soldier, either fighting on or buried deep within war territory. So today, we also honor the mothers who were afraid to raise sons, knowing their futures were set on being sent out to war. If only they saw today the life we live now, which was only made possible due to their motherly nature. We also honor the relatives who never again got to meet their loved ones, the businesses who lost their workers, the families who lost their breadwinners, the children who became fatherless, the wives who became widows at a young age, the grandchildren who never got to hear stories, and the grandfathers from their grandfathers, the generations who never got to physically meet their ancestors, and lastly, the soldiers themselves who never got to grow up and live this wonderful thing we now live and know as life. We celebrate the courageous and positive spirit our ancestors had in being loyal and true to our home country, New Zealand. It is this courage, lack of fear, and egalitarian spirit and humour that sets us apart from the world. And proud I am to say, an immigrant from Samoa, that I am a Kiwi. We honour those who are protecting and defending our country today and wish the best for those who are in training and hope to do so in the future. Now, I was supposed to speak today on what ANZAC means to me, the youth. I have often heard that Generation Y, my generation, do not simply understand the significance of ANZAC Day. I must admit that for some of us, this is sadly very true. But it should not and it will not be this way. All of us who are living and breathing are no strangers to the two acts of sacrifice and consecration. We all have lost someone or something close to us. We all have sacrificed some things in hope of a better result. We all have heard or know people, even have lost ancestors who have fought or are currently fighting in war. I myself here, I myself migrated here with my family not very long ago, sacrificing all that we had in hope of a better life here in Aotearoa. Now, with hundreds of others from around the world, we commemorate perhaps the greatest unselfish and dedicated acts of sacrifice and consecration ever recorded in our history. My point here is that the moment we realize that we are indeed a part of ANZAC is the moment we realize the significance it plays in mine and our lives. I can go to the extent in saying that if World War I and World War II was not put to an end thanks to acts such as ANZAC, we would all not be here today. Because I doubt everyone sitting here is of the master race, being blue-eyed and blonde-haired. We owe our lives to the soldiers who have fought for our country, our families, and for us. Thus, ANZAC Day, this day, surely does play an integral part in all of our lives. Whether we recognize this or not, it surely and most definitely allows us to do the things we are able to do now, lest we forget. Thank you to the Robust Club for this opportunity for learning for me. I hope my fragile voice struck the clear message of what ANZAC means to me or the youth of today. If I had said anything that was offensive or insulting, I apologize sincerely. Thank you to all those who made this event possible. Thank you to the man above for his countless blessings. And please remember, for our tomorrows, they gave their todays. Thank you.
President, fellow Probus members and members-to-be and guests. Deputy Principal of Amara College, Steve Boyd, and Head Boy, Cyrus Lawrenson. I wish to thank the Auckland City Council, Papakura RSA Service Association, Mainland Video for this recording. There's a deep message here that thousands who made the ultimate sacrifice at ANZAC Cove, something of the nation we will never forget, and has helped create the peace we have today. On a lighter note, the speech demonstrates that South Auckland youth is in good hands at Amara College. Thanking Sam for a well-structured and uplifting speech, and Steve and Amara College for the support in making this happen. Thank you.
It's while I'm on my feet. Also, Noel, who organises the guest speakers, the 5-minute speakers rather, is looking for volunteers. So if any of you have got a favourite subject, or you want to come and tell us all about what you got up to last night, please see Noel and get your name put down so that you can be scheduled. Thank you.
Right, is morning tea ready again?
Yeah.
Okay, morning tea.